Listen up. You're about to discover why every first message you send is destroying your chances with her. It's like you're a lighthouse in the middle of the ocean, but instead of letting the ships come to your light, you're desperately swimming after every vessel that passes by. Stop, breathe, and pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you. You know that feeling of checking your phone every 5 minutes waiting for a reply? That pit in your stomach when you type hi and she sees it but doesn't respond? That ends today, because you're about to learn an ultra-rare secret about attraction that only high-value men know and apply. You think you're being kind, polite, showing interest, but in reality, you're sabotaging yourself. Every time you send the first message, you're screaming to the universe that you have nothing better to do, that she's the center of your life, that you're too available, and you know what happens to things that are always available? They lose their value. It's pure psychology, my friend. Think about it. When was the last time you truly valued something you got too easily? That game you beat in 2 days, that series you binged in one sitting, that effortless achievement. None of that sticks in your memory. The human brain is programmed to value scarcity, challenge, mystery. You are literally training her to ignore you. Every unanswered message is another brick in the friend zone wall you're building yourself. Does it hurt to hear that? I know it does. But the truth sets you free. Now answer me this. Do you want to keep being the guy who always chases, or do you want to be the man who attracts naturally? Over the past 12 years, studying the psychology of attraction and male communication, I've discovered recurring patterns. High-value men never, and I mean never, wait around for a message back. They have lives so interesting that they barely remember sending a message, and that's exactly what I'm going to teach you now. There's a method I call the STOP method for magnetic attraction. It's a system that transforms you from a pursuer into a prize, from a hunter into a trophy. And it works because it respects the fundamental laws of human psychology. I'm going to show you now the 5 signs that you're destroying your attraction by sending the first message. After this, you'll never make these mistakes again. Number 1. You respond at lightning speed. She sends a hi at 2 in the afternoon, and you reply in 30 seconds. You know what that communicates? That you were sitting around waiting, that you have nothing going on in your life, that she's your number 1 priority, even without having done anything to deserve it. Attraction works like a dance. When one moves forward, the other pulls back. When one pulls, the other resists. It's the natural game of seduction. But you're dancing alone, my friend. You're pulling a rope that no one is holding on the other side. Think about the last guy she was obsessed with. I bet he took his time to reply, that he disappeared sometimes, that he had his own life. He wasn't always available, and that drove her crazy. Can you feel the difference? Number 2. You always initiate conversations. Every morning you send good morning. Every lunchtime you ask how her day is going. Every night you send a song or a meme. You've become her emotional alarm clock, the walking reminder that someone is desperate for attention. You know what the problem with that is? You're creating a dynamic where she never has to invest, never has to miss you, never has to wonder what you're doing. The mystery died, the curiosity evaporated, and with them, any chance of real attraction vanished. Studies show that the human brain releases dopamine when there's positive uncertainty. That's why gambling is addictive. That's why series with cliffhangers hook you. That's why mysterious men attract. But you have no mystery whatsoever. She knows exactly when and how you'll show up. You've become predictable, and predictable is the opposite of attractive. Does that make sense to you? Number 3. You send paragraphs while she replies with single words. You recount your life in detail. You explain your feelings in dissertations. You send 3-minute audio messages. Meanwhile, she replies with, okay, LOL, cool. This is an imbalance of investment. You're giving gold and receiving crumbs. And worse, you're validating her behavior by continuing to invest. Healthy relationships are about reciprocity. When one person invests 80% and the other 20%, it's not a relationship. It's emotional charity. And no one falls in love with someone who gives them charity. People fall in love with those they make an effort to win over, with those they invest time and energy to impress. You need to understand this now. The more you invest without a return, the less she'll value you. It's counterintuitive, I know, but that's how it works. Do you see the pattern? Number 4. You're always explaining and justifying yourself. She takes 3 days to reply, and when she does, you pretend everything's fine. Worse, you explain yourself. Sorry I didn't reply sooner, I was busy. even when you weren't. You're lying to appear less available, making up stories to justify why it took you 2 hours to reply. That's pathetic. And believe me, she notices, high-value men don't explain their schedules. They don't justify their absences. They don't apologize for having a life. They simply live and respond when they can and want to. This need for explanation comes from insecurity, from the fear of losing her. But it's precisely that fear that's making you lose her. Confidence doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't justify itself. It doesn't apologize for existing. Do you understand the gravity of this? Number 5. You obsessively monitor her online status. She's online but hasn't replied to you. You see her posting stories, but your message remains unanswered. And this consumes you. It makes you anxious. It makes you send more messages. Hey, are you okay? Did something happen? Did I upset you? Stop. This is desperation in its purest form. When you monitor her online behavior, you're saying that your happiness depends on her attention, that your mood is held hostage by her replies, that your life revolves around her validation, and no one wants that responsibility. No one wants to be the sun in someone else's solar system. It's too much weight. It's too much pressure. She wants a man who has his own orbit, his own moons, his own shine, not a dead planet that only reflects her light. Can you see how this pushes her away instead of attracting her? Now, I'm going to tell you what few men know. There's a rule in attraction I call the law of reverse investment. The less you invest at the beginning, the more the other person invests. The more you pull away, the closer she gets. But pay attention. I'm not talking about playing games. I'm not telling you to ignore her on purpose. I'm talking about something much deeper. I'm talking about you genuinely having a life so interesting that you don't need to keep sending messages. About you being so focused on your goals that you barely notice if she replied or not. About you having so much social abundance that she's just one of many interesting people in your life. When you stop sending the first message, something magical happens. She starts to wonder where you are, what you're doing, why you didn't send the usual good morning. Absence creates presence. Silence generates curiosity. Distance produces desire. But you need to apply this correctly. It's not about punishing her. It's not about revenge. It's about valuing yourself enough not to chase. Remember the lighthouse metaphor. The lighthouse doesn't swim to the boats. It stands firm in its place, shining brightly, and the boats that need direction sail to it. You need to be that lighthouse, firm, constant, brilliant, but unmoving in your position of value. I'm going to give you the exact framework now so you never have to send the first message again. It's the stop method I mentioned earlier. S for stop. When you feel the urge to send a message, stop. Take a deep breath. Count to 10. Ask yourself why you want to send that message. Is it because you have something important to say, or is it neediness? 90% of the time, it's neediness. And neediness repels like an inverted magnet. T for take time. Give her time to miss you, for her to wonder about you, for her to have the chance to invest. If she doesn't message you in 3 days, maybe she's not interested. And that's okay. You want someone who's eager to talk to you, not someone who replies out of politeness. O for observe. What do you really want? Superficial attention or a deep connection? Crumbs of affection or real investment? When you observe, you realize you're accepting less than you deserve. You're settling for scraps. You're begging for attention. P for prioritize yourself. Focus on your growth, your career, your hobbies, your friends, your health, your evolution. It works like this. Instead of sending good morning, you go to the gym. Instead of asking how her day was, you focus on making your day epic. Instead of sending a meme, you create something meaningful. And you know what happens? She notices the change. She feels your absence. And if she's genuinely interested, she'll invest. If she doesn't invest, you saved time, energy, and dignity. Do you understand the logic? But I know what you're thinking. What if she never messages? What if she disappears for good? What if I lose her? Listen carefully. If she never sends the first message, she's not interested enough. Period. No excuses. No made-up stories, no buts. An interested woman finds ways to talk to you. She sends a meme, asks how you are, comments on your stories. She invests. If she's not doing any of that, you're wasting your time. You're watering a dead plant. You're investing in a stock that's already gone bankrupt. And you deserve more than that. You deserve someone who's eager to talk to you, who counts the minutes until they see you, who invests as much as you do. Almost no one realizes this, but attraction is about balance. When you give too much, you create an imbalance. When you disappear completely, that also creates an imbalance. The secret is in the middle ground. Respond when she invests. Disappear when she disappears. Show up when she shows interest. Pull back when she pulls back. It's a dance, remember? You can't dance alone. You need to follow her rhythm. But more importantly, you need to let her lead sometimes. Men always want to lead, to control, to direct. But in attraction, the one who controls is the one who cares less, the one who has more options, the one who is less emotionally invested. And when you stop sending the first message, you regain control. Not through manipulation, but through self-worth. Do you feel that shift in energy? I'll tell you a true story. I had a client, I called him Carlos. Carlos messaged the same girl every day for 3 months. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. He asked about her work, her family, her dog. She replied when she wanted to. Sometimes she'd disappear for days, but he always came back, always insisted, always invested. One day I told him, Carlos, stop, just stop. Don't send anything else. Focus on yourself, let her come to you. He resisted, said he'd lose her, that she'd forget about him, that another guy would show up, but he trusted the process. He stopped sending messages, focused on work, went back to the gym, hung out with friends. 3 days later, she messaged him, Hey, where'd you go? Everything okay? He waited 2 hours to reply, replied briefly, casually, without desperation. She invested more, sent an audio message, suggested they meet up. In 2 weeks, they were dating. Why? Because he stopped being a sure thing. He became scarce. He created value through absence. This works, but you need to have the courage to apply it. Can you imagine this happening to you? Now I'm going to give you the golden rule so you never have to chase again. First rule, she needs to send the last message in at least half of your conversations. If you're always ending them, you're over-investing. Second rule, wait at least as long as she takes to reply to you. She takes 2 hours? You take 2 hours or more. It's not a game, it's reciprocity. Third rule, your messages should be, at most, the same length as hers. If she sends 1 line, you send 1 line. If she sends a paragraph, you can send a paragraph. Fourth rule, never send 2 messages in a row. Sent 1 and she didn't reply? Forget it. Move on. If she wants to, she'll reply. Fifth rule, have at least 3 things in your life more important than her. Work, gym, hobby, friends, family, whatever it is. But have bigger priorities. These rules aren't about being cold. They're about having value, about respecting yourself, about not begging for attention. Does that make sense to you? But the most important thing in all of this is your mindset. You need to truly believe that you deserve someone who invests in you, who chases you, who makes an effort for you. As long as you believe you need to win over, impress, and chase, you'll continue to attract people who don't value you. Belief creates reality. If you believe you're a prize, you act like a prize, and people treat you like a prize. If you believe you need to beg for attention, you beg, and people treat you as disposable. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You get what you project. You attract what you believe you deserve. So the change starts within, in your self-image, in your self-worth, in your inner confidence. Are you following along? There's a concept in psychology called social proof. Basically, people value what other people value. If you're always available, always chasing, you're communicating that no one else wants you, that you have no options, that you're desperate. But when you disappear, when you don't send messages, when you take your time to reply, you communicate the opposite, that you have a life, that you have options, that you don't need her. And that's irresistible, because everyone wants what they can't easily have. Everyone values what's scarce. Everyone chases what runs away. It's human nature. Don't fight it. Use it to your advantage, but be careful. This isn't about being a jerk. It's not about mistreating. It's not about humiliating. It's about having your own life, your own goals, your own self-worth. When you have that, you don't need to send the first message. People message you because you're interesting, because you add value, because you have something to offer. Do you notice the difference? I'm going to give you a practical exercise. For the next 7 days, don't send the first message to anyone. Not to her, not to friends, not to family. Only reply when they reach out to you. You'll discover two things. First, those who truly care about you will reach out. Second, you'll have much more time to focus on yourself. And during these 7 days, I want you to invest that time in something productive. Learn a new skill, read a book, take a course, train harder, anything that helps you grow. When you return to messages, you'll come back different, stronger, more confident, more valuable. And people feel that. They feel your different energy, your elevated value, your increased confidence. Are you ready for this transformation? The problem is that we've been conditioned to believe that showing interest means sending messages, that affection is constant attention, that love is total availability. But that's a lie. Healthy love is about balance. Genuine interest is about reciprocity. True affection is about mutual respect. When you message too much, you suffocate. When you're always available, you become tiresome. When you invest without return, you devalue yourself. It's like eating chocolate every day. At first, it's amazing. After a month, you can't stand the smell anymore. Scarcity creates value. Abundance creates contempt. It's basic economics applied to relationships. Do you get it now? But I need to be honest with you. Changing this isn't easy. You'll feel anxiety. You'll want to send a message. You'll think you're losing her. It's normal. It's the addiction to validation, craving a hit. It's neediness, screaming for attention. It's the fear of abandonment manifesting. But you need to resist. You need to be stronger than your impulses. You need to value your future more than your momentary comfort. Every time you resist the urge to send a message, you get stronger. Every time you focus on yourself instead of her, you grow. Every time you choose your self-worth over her validation, you evolve. It's a process, it's a journey, it's a transformation, but it's worth it. Because on the other side is the man you want to be. Confident, valuable, desired. Are you willing to pay the price? You know what the irony of all this is? When you stop needing her, she starts wanting you. When you stop chasing, she starts getting closer. When you stop sending messages, she starts asking about you. It's the paradox of attraction. The less you want, the more you have. The less you care, the more they care about you. The less you invest, the more they invest in you. But this only works if it's genuine, if you're truly focused on yourself, if you genuinely have more important things going on, if you truly don't need her validation. Faking it doesn't work. She senses when it's an act. Women have a radar for detecting falsehood, disguised desperation, cheap games. That's why the change needs to be real, internal, profound. You need to genuinely become the man who doesn't need to send the first message, not just act like you are. Can you make that distinction? Let me tell you another secret few people apply. The power of silence is underestimated. When you don't respond immediately, you create a vacuum. And nature abhors a vacuum. It always tries to fill it. She'll start to imagine what you're doing, who you're with, why you haven't replied. And that curiosity is the fuel for attraction. Mystery generates interest. Predictability generates boredom. Choose what you want to be, but silence isn't ignoring. It's being busy living. It's having priorities. It's demonstrating that your life doesn't revolve around your phone. High-value men respond when they can, not when they receive a message. They have meetings, workouts, commitments, a life. And when they finally respond, it's with purpose. It's not to fill a void. It's to add value, to connect, to build something real. Do you notice the difference in energy? Now think about your future. Do you want to spend the next few years chasing, sending the first message, begging for attention? Or do you want to be the guy who attracts naturally, who has people investing in him, who chooses instead of begging? The decision is yours, but the consequences are inevitable. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always gotten. Crumbs, scraps, contempt disguised as politeness. But if you change now, if you apply what you've learned, if you value your time and energy, everything changes. You turn the tables, you take control, you reclaim your power. And it's not about her, it's about you, about the man you become when you stop begging for attention, about the confidence you develop when you stop needing external validation, about the value you build when you focus on yourself. Are you ready for this change? I'll close with this. Remember the lighthouse. It doesn't move, it doesn't chase, it doesn't beg, it simply shines. And the boats that need direction find their way to it. Some boats pass right by. They don't need its light. And that's okay. The lighthouse keeps shining. Other boats approach, they use its light, they appreciate its presence. Those are the ones that matter. You don't need to light up every boat in the ocean. Only those that value your light, that invest to reach you, that recognize your worth. Stop swimming after boats. Return to your position, shine brightly, and let those who truly matter come to you. Every message you don't send is a step toward your value. Every time you resist the impulse, you get stronger. Every moment you focus on yourself instead of her, you grow. The process has already begun. Now that you know the truth, you can no longer pretend you don't. You can no longer deceive yourself. You can no longer accept less than you deserve. The change starts now, at this very moment, with the decision to never again send the first message without reciprocity, without mutual investment, without genuine interest from the other side. You deserve someone who's eager to talk to you, who counts the hours until they see you, who invests as much as you do. Accepting less than that is betraying yourself. It's devaluing yourself. It's wasting your potential. So stop, breathe, focus on yourself, and watch how the game changes when you change the rules. If this made sense to you, if it opened your eyes, if it changed your perspective, like this now and subscribe. Share it with that friend who needs to hear this. And most importantly, apply it. Because knowledge without action is just entertainment. Do this now before you forget, before neediness speaks louder, before the old pattern pulls you back. You are the lighthouse. Time to shine, and let the right boats find you.